Exhibits. Exhibits used at trial are merely those tangible things, the things you hold in your hands, the DVDs you play, those items which are being used to complement existing testimony. For example, I may want to bring a picture of the intersection where this accident occurred. I may want to show that jury where that accident occurred, where the cars were, and how the accident was the cause of the very damage that I am asking for today. That the defendant caused that accident by running that red light. So I might have a picture that I want to show the jury. A picture that's complementing the testimony of my witness. My witness is saying where the person was. They're proving, they're showing the evidence that says that the person ran the red light, but I want the jury to see it. So I use something called an exhibit. Now, exhibits are generally marked. That means I have to ask the court to put a number, to put a letter on it. And the reason why is so that we can track them. So we have a list of which exhibits are being used. And so that the court reporter who's taking it down can then marry that exhibit with that witness testimony. If I say, I have 4 pictures of the intersection, and I don't label them, and I say, witness, let me show you the picture of the intersection, and let me talk to you about where the cars were. Now let me show you this other picture of the intersection, and let me show you where the cars were here. How, if you were reading that, would you understand which document they were referring to? How would you understand which exhibit they were referring to? How could you possibly understand what they were trying to make, what they were trying to prove, what they were trying to show? The use of exhibits and marking them allows you to be directional, allows you to say, this exhibit right here is going with this testimony. Let me show you what's been marked as Exhibit 23, as Plaintiff's Exhibit 23, or as Plaintiff's Exhibit 23 for identification. People use that phraseology for identification when they want to show that this piece of evidence, this exhibit, is not in evidence. That right now, I'm using it for a purpose. That later on, I might admit it into evidence, or I might not. So it's very important to use these documents and to be directional in using them. So let's say I have that picture of the intersection. I want to show it to the witness. I would ask permission from the court. Your Honor, may I approach the witness and show him this picture? May I display the picture to the jury and have the witness answer some questions about it? May I bring the picture close to the juror or close to the witness and have him or her point to it? Judge will probably say, sure, or yes, or of course. By doing that, I then have engaged in the proper court etiquette. The judge will likely say, go ahead. I then take an easel or something that I can hold it up for. It is much better for you to have free hands. So it is much better to take something up that will display that. Judge, I want to show him the Tonka toy. Judge, I want to show him those Lego blocks that he put together that caused the problem. Judge, I want to show him this contract. Whatever it is that I'm trying to show, if I get that document free from me, I'm going to be able to perform better than if I'm trying to hold something up and ask a question. So, let's say I get the easel out, or I get something that's going to hold that document. I can then point to the document and say, witness, do you understand what this document is? Or please tell me what this document is. Well, this is a picture of the intersection at the exact time that I saw the car enter the intersection. Okay, and explain to the jury what we see here. Well, what you see is John is entering the intersection. That's my buddy. And he's driving north. And then Bob, that's the bad guy. He's crossing the intersection going west. And the light is red at the time Bob is doing that. And that is why these cars intersected. You see what I've done? I'm using a tool. I'm using a document, an exhibit, to help the jury understand testimony, to visualize something, to make something more understandable, to, instead of saying, if I want somebody to listen, tell them, I'm saying, if you want somebody to understand, show them. So that's what I've done with the use of exhibits. I might have an exhibit that is a videotape. I might have an exhibit that's a prop. I might have an exhibit that's an actual document. Whatever those things are, The key is to properly mark them, if they haven't been marked before trial, to properly identify them when you are talking to the witness. Witness, Mr. Smith, I'm showing you what's been marked as Plaintiff's Exhibit J for identification, or Plaintiff's Exhibit J. I'm making sure the witness knows what that document is. Can you tell me what this document is? Do you recognize this document as the intersection? I am then using the document to portray the message that I want to complete. Tell us what that document shows. Tell us what that gory picture shows. Tell us what that autopsy photo shows. Tell us what the jaggedness of the knife means. Tell us when the blood splatters in that way, what that means in this picture. Well, there's only one way that the person could have stabbed them based on that picture, based on my expert opinion. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm using an aid. I'm using an exhibit. I can also use something called a demonstrative aid, and that is something that I'm not really trying to put in evidence. I'm just trying to show it to allow the jury to easily see something. For example, let's say I have a page of a contract. I've already admitted the contract into evidence, but I want to blow up the page on a giant screen, and I want to display it just to demonstrate something, demonstrably, just to show a jury, hey, you see this giant picture? Can you show this signature? You see this signature here? Is that your signature, witness? And it's on a 10-foot screen. Now the jury doesn't have to look at print that's this big. That's a demonstrative aid. I'm not using that document to enter into evidence. I'm using it to demonstrate something. So that is another tool. The use of exhibits, the use of these demonstrative aids is critical to success. Whenever you can, complement your questions, complement your opening statement, your closing argument with these kinds of demonstrative aids. If you're in closing argument, you might want to show the actual verdict form. Let me show you the verdict form that the judge is going to give you. Number 1 says, do you find that Casey Anthony, with premeditation, with malice aforethought, intentionally killed Caylee Anthony and was not justified in doing so? You see, it's going to say that in number 1. Or maybe I blow it up. You see that? I want you to check the box that says guilty or yes. Let me move to question 2. I am demonstrating. I am using it demonstratively. I am taking that document and having the jury understand what I'm talking about. Instead of saying, you're going to see a little piece of paper here that you can't see from where I'm standing now, and it's really going to, trust me on this, it's going to say these questions. Take them through the verdict form in that closing argument. Show them that. This will enable you to drive home the point, to allow people to be stimulated not only by the sense from their ear, but by the sense from their eye. 2 senses is always better than 1. The concept is to understand that the use of exhibits, the use of demonstrative aids, can tremendously benefit any case, can tremendously help you in the way in which you present evidence, can provide a more powerful, a more believable message, and one that will certainly bring you success.